It's time for a sit-down now on PPMA TV, brought to you by Markham Image. Joined here by Lee from Au2mate, and we're going to talk about automation a little bit. First of all, though, what's the specific sector in which you guys operate?
Primarily, we work in the dairy industry, but food and beverage, of course, is linked to that. So it's process automation within the dairy and food and beverage industries.
Okay. And in which area then do you get involved? Hardware, software, process, consultancy?
A little bit of everything, actually. The hardware actually has to be there for us to program. From a consultancy perspective, the guys who are programming the process kit have to understand the process. So they have to understand, how a dairy operates or the food and beverage process side. So absolutely, hardware, software, consultancy, understanding that whole package is important for our end users.
Now, of course, where the industry as a whole, not just here, are facing challenges with regards to skills shortages, it feels as though the focus is being turned back, if it was ever a way, really, to automation and driving efficiencies in terms of productivity, but also sustainability, and looking to automation to try and fill some of the gaps and to move the industries forward. How is your industry, how is what you do in terms of automating these processes changing to modernize, to try and keep up, and maybe to bring even further efficiencies that maybe you haven't been able to find or haven't been evident as much so far?
Yeah, absolutely. I think today's sensors and the technology that comes with the sensors linking into a SCADA system or a PLC system, if we take, you're running a product, you always have to clean your systems. That has to be hygienic. Cleans are non-value added. So you want to shrink that clean as much as you can. To go from a product to the clean, you have to then look for like a water shot. That water shot then can be triggered real quickly, and then you can put in your cleans. So you're reducing chemicals, you're reducing water, you're reducing energy, you're reducing steam.
And reducing the time as well that you're taking to do the clean.
Yeah. So then you can get back to running your product, back to running your batches. So absolutely, it used to be either length of pipe or perhaps just a time. Hey, after 3 minutes, then turn into chemicals. Now we can use technology to actually turn on when the chemicals are then released to clean.
You've worked in the industry for a little while. You were telling me just before we went live there. The degree of connectivity of the hardware systems in particular, we talk about Industry 4.0 and all of these things, but the fact is that a lot of the hardware now's got sensors that are telling us stuff about how they're operating, when they might break and so on. And from an automation process point of view, that must have changed things quite a lot for you and opened up a lot of new possibilities in terms of what might be achievable in terms of those efficiencies.
Yeah, I think islands of data. So, a machine can connect to a SCADA system, but you might have a packer, you might have another labeler, or you might have something within your process. Yeah. Those islands of data can be connected. So actually you can see a full broad range of breakdowns, for instance, because you want to know what's breaking down, you want to know how often it's breaking down, or you want to know how often it's run so you can do your maintenance. So you can push that data from just a line upwards, and then of course line to line, factory to factory. So all that data can be connected, and all that data can be used then by statistics or by the clever cloud algorithms to say, hey, your machine's going to break down, or your line's going to break down, or wouldn't that be fantastic? Order the parts before it's even breaking down. So it's all possible. Just got to have the appetite, I suppose, to get the plants to do that. But what we are seeing is certainly maintenance data, certainly breakdown data, certainly, of course, OE, that's been around forever now. But being able to have that across multiple processes, multiple factories, is now a benefit to the end user.
Joining those dots and getting rid of the silos, you talk about islands of data, creating a continent of data that, like you say, the network effect behind that, you are able to see things, to see patterns that you wouldn't be able to see just by concentrating on that one island. Really good to chat, Lee. Thank you very much indeed for chatting to us today, and I hope the show continues to be a fruitful one for you.
Thank you very much for your time. Cheers now.